Welcome to Art Gallery Explorer, art lovers, and a very happy new year to you. It is now 2026, and this is one of my favourite videos of the year where I look forward to the delights that are going to be offered to us, London art lovers, over the next 12 months. Before I do that, I'd like to reflect a little bit on the channel and also to thank you for all of you who have watched over the last 12 months, and especially those of you who have taken the time to like or comment on videos, because that does make a huge difference to this channel. I set up this channel to really encourage people to explore the London art scene, especially to explore shows they might be unsure about going to. And as the channel's developed, it's had a secondary purpose, which is really important to me as well, about providing accessibility to shows for those people who cannot visit them, by bringing you as much of the shows as I possibly can do, maybe because of financial reasons, maybe because of health reasons, or maybe because you live in a different country or even in a different continent. So it's been a real thrill to have over 250,000 views of these videos over the last 12 months, which is beyond my wildest dreams, and long may that continue. Going forward, I intend to continue to cover the major shows on the London art scene, which has been the bread and butter staple of this channel. I am going to try to be regular. It's hard. I work full time. I have other commitments as well. And so I'm always going to aim to try and get out at least one review a week on a Monday. Sometimes I've just learned that that can't happen, but do check in on a Monday anyway. And really importantly, hit that notification bell so that you can get updates of when the videos do come out. Because if they're a bit late, say on a Tuesday or Wednesday some weeks, then you'll know when the videos come out. I produced 56 videos last year, as I said, and so I'm hoping to produce more than that this year. I suppose my New Year's resolution, as well as continuing doing what I am doing now, is to cover more new art. And ideally, I'd like to cover a new artist a month. I'm not talking about a very well-established artist like David Hockney, who's producing new work. I will continue to cover those established artists producing new work. But I'm talking about artists you may not have heard of, because that's really the next stage. I don't often cover new shows in kind of grungy, edgy galleries outside of Mayfair, but I do visit them. So maybe it's time to start bringing those shows to you as well. We'll see how that goes anyway. And with that in mind, if you have any shows that you think, or artists that you think I should cover who are up and coming, who I won't have heard of or may not have heard of, do drop me a message in the comments and I will definitely respond to that. It's really important to try and encourage new art. London is a tough place to be a new artist. So anyway, let's count down from 20 to 1 on the shows that I am most excited about seeing on the London art scene in 2026. Obviously, the order is subjective, but hopefully this will give you a taste of what is to come and whet your appetite for the smorgasbord on offer, because I do think this looks like a really strong year. At number 20 is a show which is going to be at the Hayward Gallery on the South Bank, and it is focusing on work by British artist Anish Kapoor. Kapoor is not actually my favourite artist. I always think of him as producing huge, big sculptures, often in public places. But I am really interested to see this show, which is a mixture of older works and some new works which we won't have seen before, including some of his mirror works and 3 apparently vast, gigantic works. So if you're an Anish Kapoor fan or a modern sculpture fan, this one might be for you. It is on from the 16th of June to the 18th of October 2026 and promises to be a really interesting exploration of Kapoor's work. In 19th place is a show at the Whitechapel Art Gallery by Chilean-born artist Cecilia Vicuña. Some of you might remember Vicuña from her Brainforest Quipo, which was installed in the Turbine Hall at Tate Modern between 2022 and 2023. And this did whet my appetite a little bit. And she seems a really interesting artist who works across painting, textiles, installation art and video art. And this Whitechapel show is the first kind of big museum London show of her work. It's on from the 7th of October 2026 through into 2027. And I'm really intrigued to get to know more about Cecilia Vicuña as an artist. And the 18th is a show from Serpentine North of new works by David Hockney. It wouldn't be a London Art Year, would it, without a David Hockney show? But this one does look special. It's going to include his 90-metre long frieze, A Year in Normandy, as well as other new works. And that Serpentine North gallery is quite a difficult gallery to fit works into in some ways, being an old gunpowder store, but it's actually perfect for these longer, bigger works. This is going to be a free exhibition, and it is going to be on from the 12th of March to the 23rd of August 2026. So if you're a Hockney fan, it's going to be obviously a no-brainer to get along and visit this show. The reason I haven't put it higher is because David Hockney's new work is often shown in London, but I am still excited and I will certainly be along and bringing this to you. In 17th place, another show from the Whitechapel Art Gallery actually is by Turner Prize winning artist from 2022, Veronica Ryan. She produces sculpture, and this promises both new and historic work. And for me, she's a very interesting artist, and this is a well-deserved show. The show is on from the 1st of April 2026 to the 14th of June. And this is going to be a really intriguing survey show of one of Britain's great contemporary artists. In 16th place is a really intriguing exhibition from the Dulwich Picture Gallery, focusing on Estonia's most famous artist, Konrad Magi, or Mägi. I'm not quite sure how you pronounce that yet. This artist is very well known and beloved in their native Estonia as a modernist artist. And their reputation has been gradually growing with shows in Italy, in Norway, a selection of works also being shown in Paris. And now it's London's turn to explore an artist who, let's face it, most British art lovers will know very little about. But the Dulwich Picture Gallery has form on this. It brought us Chilernus from Lithuania in a spectacular show a couple of years ago. And so I'm really excited to see if this exhibition lives up to the hype. I've obviously had a little look at works online. They seem colourful, they seem modernist. So it's going to be a really interesting show, which is on from the 24th of March 2026 to the 12th of July. And the Dulwich Picture Gallery, more often than not, brings us fantastic works. And so in 15th place is a really intriguing looking show from the Royal Academy, focusing on Victorian artist Richard Dadd. Dadd was a talented artist who travelled to Europe but then experienced sustained periods of psychosis and was institutionalised in Bethlehem and Broadmoor psychiatric institutions, where he continued to produce art. His art was lost to general public consciousness until the late 1960s and 70s, when he was rediscovered. He painted through this period, often distorted, kind of weird nightmare fairy tale type works. And it's going to be really interesting to see his work in person. This show is going to be on from late July until October 2026. And it's going to bring together over 60 of Dadd's works. Now, as someone who became an art lover properly in the 1990s, Tate Britain's show, just entitled The 90s, promises to be a must-see. It's going to bring together photography, art by people like Damien Hirst and Julian Waring, and also fashion by Alexander McQueen and Vivienne Westwood and the like. This was the period of Cool Britannia, when Britain swung again, and I really just am hoping for a blast of nostalgia and a really fun exhibition that also embraces the music of the time. I know it's a bit cheesy, but I am looking forward to this show a huge amount. In 13th place is a really intriguing show from the Royal Academy entitled Painting the French Riviera. This show promises to explore how the French Riviera has inspired artists from the 1870s to the 1960s. The fact that this opens on the 2nd of October, just as London's nights are becoming greyer and the nights are drawing in, really attracted me, because we're going to be seeing work by Matisse, by Cézanne, by Monet, by Signac, by Picasso, and many other artists as well. And this is one of two themed exhibitions at the Royal Academy, actually, which don't just focus on one artist, the other being on Peggy Guggenheim, which I'm really interested in. But I'm particularly interested in this French Riviera one because I'm hoping that it's going to bring a touch of the sun-kissed south of France to autumn and winter London, because the show runs until the 31st of January. At number 12 is a Impressionist show, in fact one of the only ones this year. It's called Renoir in Love, and it's at the National Gallery, and it's going to focus on that poor old much maligned Impressionist Renoir. It's fair to say of all the Impressionists he is currently the least fashionable, but the National Gallery is hoping to change our view on Renoir by producing the first major Renoir show in Britain for over 20 years. And I am really excited because this is going to contain 50 works. It's going to be in collaboration with the Musée d'Orsay and the Museum of Fine Arts in Boston. So this is going to be like a mega Pax-a-Punch show. It is on from the 3rd of October 2026 to the 31st of January. And come on, can you resist a little touch of Renoir in the autumn and winter? I certainly won't be able to, and I look forward to visiting this exhibition and bringing it to you. In 11th place, Chiharu Shiota's Threads of Life at the Hayward Gallery looks really interesting. Those of you who have watched the vlog for a while know that I love a good blast of installation art, and this looks like some of the best installation art of the year in London. So I'm really excited to go into this show at the Hayward Gallery and be immersed in these thread-like sculptures which are going to surround us. This show starts on the 17th of February, and I'll hopefully be able to bring you lots of 360-degree tours of this exhibition. It looks wonderful. Now we're getting into the top 10, and we start at Tate Modern with the first of 3 shows that are going to be at Tate Modern in 2026 from in my top 10. And so it suggests that the Tate Modern is going to have a strong year. And at number 10 is a show focusing on Cuban-American artist Ana Mendieta. Mendieta is an enigmatic artist who's hard to place. Lots of her work was temporary and ethereal, and yet she's a really important artist before her tragic and untimely death. And so I'm really interested to see how Tate are going to capture her art in this first kind of major exploration of her art for over 10 years. It's going to be a really exciting show involving lots of different mediums. And I'm hoping this show, which starts on the 15th of July 2026 and goes into 2027, will recapture and place centre stage the art of Mendieta, which is often overshadowed by her relationship with Carl Andre and the tragedy of her death way too young. So I'm going to be really up for immersing myself again in the world of Ana Mendieta. In 9th place is a show that London's been waiting for by Colombian artist Beatriz Gonzalez. This show is at the Barbican Centre. We're going to lose the Barbican relatively soon to refurbishment, so we've got to enjoy it while it's still there. And this exhibition is going to bring Gonzalez's work on a large scale to London at a time when I think it's really needed. Some of her works are huge. They often involve using found or reclaimed objects, and they both look at everyday life, but also some of the deeper complexities of Colombia's recent history. The show is on from the 25th of February through to the 10th of May, and I, for one, can't wait to go to my first Beatriz Gonzalez show at the Barbican Centre. And at number 8, Tate Britain are claiming the Whistler show is going to be the first major European Whistler exhibition in 30 years. Yes, Whistler's mother will be making its way over from the Musée d'Orsay. And for those of you who are fans of this fascinating, very modern artist who took Paris and then London by storm, this show will be a must-see. It's on from the 21st of May 2026 to the 27th of September. So it's quite a short run, but I'm really excited to be immersed in Whistler's world and Whistler's work in what is going to be one of London's summer blockbusters. Seventh on my most excited list is Lucian Freud drawing into painting from the National Portrait Gallery. This show promises to be the first show focusing on Freud's works on paper. He is a much exhibited artist, but he's also one of the greatest 20th and 21st century portrait painters. And it's going to be fascinating to see how his paperwork's translated into his much more well-known oils, which I'm sure will be on show here as well. The National Portrait Gallery has done a succession of fantastic exhibitions since it reopened after its refurbishment, and I'm sure that this is going to continue in that field. It's the only show at the National Portrait Gallery I've got in my top 20, but I'm looking forward to visiting the gallery to see other shows as well. This show is on from the 12th of February 2026 to the 4th of May, and I'm sure would draw big crowds to the National Portrait Gallery, which has had a really strong set of shows since it reopened following refurbishment. So, in sixth place is a show focusing on Spanish great Francisco de Zurbarán. Zurbarán is one of those artists who deserves a big show, and this is apparently one of the first big shows in Britain just focusing on him as opposed to broader Spanish art, and it promises to bring some of his greatest paintings together from all over the world. National Gallery does these old master spectaculars so well. It contains some great works by the artists as well. So I can't wait to bring you this show, which is going to be one of those shows which allows us to immerse ourselves in one of the greats. This show runs from the 2nd of May to the 23rd of August and will be a must-see in London during that period. In fifth place, at the Courtauld Gallery is an intimate sounding show entitled Seurat and the Sea. Seurat was one of those great post-impressionists, but he died tragically young at the age of 31. And he's probably most well known for his Parisian works. This is in claiming to be the first exhibition which just focuses on the summers he spent on the Normandie coast, capturing the sea and its surrounding areas. And it's going to bring together 27 works and paintings and preparatory sketches as well. So it's going to be a really fascinating, intimate glimpse into a different aspect of an artist's work. And I think it's going to be claiming that these sea works tell us as much about Seurat's importance as his more famous Parisian works do. So this is going to be a beautiful, intimate show at the Courtauld Gallery. This show is on from the 13th of February 2026, so not long to wait, until the 17th of May. And it promises to be a beautiful show. In fourth place, we revisit Tate Modern for the second time for a show which I know is going to become one of the buzziest of the year. It focuses on Mexican great Frida Kahlo and is entitled The Making of an Icon. I've been to her house in Mexico City and seen lots of her work, and this show promises to bring 130 works to London art lovers, including, according to Tate Modern, some of her most well-known paintings. The exhibition is being held in conjunction with Houston, the Museum of Fine Art in Houston, where it's being held first, so maybe you'll get to see it over there if you're one of my American viewers. But I'm really looking forward to this. She hasn't been shown in London for a while on her own, and so it's going to be a spectacular show and no doubt a smash hit. In third place, we stay at Tate Modern for the large sounding Tracey Emin retrospective, which promises to bring together 40 years of work by one of Britain's most controversial but also iconic artists. And the reason this is so high is because some of Emin's most recent work has been her strongest, whereas other YBAs have wilted on the vine and producing work of little value. She is getting stronger and stronger, I would argue. So yes, there'll be classic works like her bed piece, but also newer works as well. Emin was ahead of her time. She broke down that barrier between the personal and the public in a way that is ubiquitous today with social media. But she was doing it in the 90s, well before that. She deserves a big retrospective, and she's getting on at Tate Modern. And again, I'm hoping that along with the show I've just mentioned, the Frida Kahlo show, this will give the Tate a much needed boost to their coffers by selling out. I think it would be an electric show. It's coming up quite soon, actually, because it's running from the 27th of February to the 31st of August. I will aim to be there early in the run to get it to you so you can make up your mind if it's a show for you or not. In second place is a show that I sort of almost punched the air with when I heard it was being put on at the National Gallery, and it's by Van Eyck, that Northern Renaissance great. One of the most loved works in the National Gallery is this one, and the show that the National Gallery is putting on is going to be pairing this work with 8 other portraits to bring together every single known Van Eyck portrait in existence. This show is a truly once-in-a-lifetime show. I don't think, knowing the fragility of these works and their age, that this show will ever happen again anywhere in the world. It's going to be incredibly special. I mean, it's bringing together almost half of the known paintings of Jan van Eyck. And he's a mysterious, enigmatic artist. And I can't wait to see these works, these 9 works together in one room and get to appreciate him. It's going to be an incredible privilege to do that. This show is on from the 21st of November 2026, running into 2027, into April 2027. And I've been crying out for a Northern Renaissance show to match the superb Italian Renaissance shows we've had over the years. And so this is going some way to heed that call as well. But on its own, it will never happen again. And it's only pipped by, in first place, a visit for the first time in this top 20 to the British Museum to explore one of the greatest Western works of art ever produced, the Bayeux Tapestry. Now, I never expected this to leave Bayeux. I've seen it a few times in Normandie, but I never expected it to come across the channel and be shown in London. We don't know when it's going to be shown yet. It's going to be autumn 2026 as we speak. But this is one of the great works of art, one of the greatest pre-Renaissance works of European art. And it tells us so much about our own history here in Britain and the Norman invasion. But it's also a fantastic, fun work as well. And I can't believe we're seeing it in London. And this, again, a bit like Van Eyck at number 2, is a once in a forever. It's never going to come to London again. You'd have to travel to France to see it. And so I'm absolutely pumped to see this work in London. I am actually going to rejoin the British Museum so I can go and see this several times over its run. What a treat. Well, there you go. They are the 20 shows that I am most excited about seeing in 2026. I've extended it from 10 because I thought it was a really rich selection this year. But even with 20, there are lots that I've had to miss out. So do post in the comments what you are most excited about seeing. Thank you if you've watched this. Happy New Year again. And I look forward to celebrating and exploring the London art scene with you over the next 12 months.